In a recently concluded survey with 147 financial institutions, 65% stated that staff incentive schemes helped in increasing the financial performance. 80% said it directly contributed to the increased productivity of loan officers. Inadequate technical knowledge was quoted as the main reason for not implementing it. MicroSave has been supporting financial institutions across the world to develop and implement effective performance management and staff incentive systems. This presentation briefly explains the concept and key decisions that a practitioner or a consultant developing staff incentive system should pay attention to. The main purpose of a staff incentive scheme is to motivate staff to achieve high performance levels and change behavior or improve attitudes. Though developing a comprehensive incentive scheme requires technical skills specific to this subject, there are a number of core questions such as why, whom, and how to give incentives need to be answered before starting to build a technical model. I have summarized these into 5 key decision points that must be thought through to develop a technically sound and practically effective staff incentive system. The first decision is to define the objective. Questions such as should incentive be given based on the performance or the efforts? Should the focus be on growth or on quality? These needs to be answered before starting to think about giving incentives to the staff. Though there are no set answers to these questions, but effective practices suggest that efforts that lead to better performance must be recognized. Deciding between growth and quality depends on where currently the organization is. That is, in a new market, the focus should be on growth, whereas in a more mature market, quality must be given the priority. Another rule of the game is if any objective is not measurable, do not include it. Once we have defined the objectives, we need to identify functional levels such as loan officers, tellers, branch managers, or other head office managers that can significantly contribute to the achievement of these objectives. Theoretically, we can include all staff members, but I have observed that effective incentive schemes are more focused in their approach. It works better to develop a separate incentive scheme for field staff and a separate incentive scheme for the managerial staff. The next decision point is how much weight should the incentive component have on the total remuneration? Well, there are not set norms as to what percentage of total remuneration should come from the incentive or variable components. A high variable pay component would make the cash flows for the staff uncertain, resulting in complaints around pay hikes. Similarly, a high fixed pay component might make staff less motivated to put extra efforts as the monthly cash flow is granted. In the end, it remains a subjective decision, but our experiences suggest that for a field staff, the variable pay should range between 20% to 50%. Now, the next key decision is about selecting a suitable incentive mechanism. Well, before we move forward to select a suitable incentive mechanism, it is important to understand what it means and what are the available options. Incentives can be performance-based or non-performance-based. Performance-based incentives are distributed among staff members according to their individual performance or the performance of teams or the entire organization. Typically, these include cash payouts like monthly cash payouts. Non-performance-based incentives are guaranteed to employees regardless of their performance. Examples include insurance, leave allowance, lunch allowance, or any similar allowances. Although they may enhance staff motivation, their impact on performance is naturally low. Therefore, linking incentive to the performance works well. Incentives can also be given to individuals or to a group. The rule is as long as the performance of an individual, even if within the group, can be easily defined and measured, individual-based incentive system should be chosen. For example, the performance of loan officers of an MFI can easily be defined and measured individually because loan officers are responsible for their individual clients and portfolios. Whereas for a savings product, it is usually a joint effort of the team. Therefore, a group-based incentive scheme is more suitable. Well, before we move to the next decision point of selecting an incentive computation method, it is important to understand the frequently deployed incentive computation methods. Broadly, there are 2 methods, linear and staged. Linear schemes are based on a simple formula such as incentive is equal to A into B, where A is the output measure, for example, number of disbursed loans, and B is a monetary value, for example, $2. An example could be a staff is given $2 for each new loan disbursed. So for 20 new loan disbursed in a month, she will get $40. That is 20 times 2. There can be more than one linear parameters in this equation, but the more parameters we add, the more complex it becomes. This is an example of a linear scheme with equal A and B values. This is also a linear scheme with focus on the growth. This is another linear model with a shift of focus from high growth to low growth. In practice, staff incentive schemes are frequently built around stages. Stages serve as triggers that are used to decide whether a bonus will be paid or what the bonus will be. For example, a staff would get $2 for each new loan disbursed for up to 50 loans, and thereafter will get $4 each. Similar to linear schemes, there can be more than 2 stages with multiple parameters. Now the question is, which method is right? Well, both can be right or wrong. In practice, MFIs have implemented both types of models. Linear models reward every unit of staff performance, whereas the stage model rewards a set of performance. Though the stage models are easy to comprehend, but because of the micro unit level rewards, linear models tend to provide effective results. Well, these are among few key decisions that need management consideration. Developing a sound technical design require further thoughtful analysis. Aspects such as the optimum or expected performance levels, weights of different parameters, budget allocation, and associated cost-benefit analysis need careful thinking. There are a number of useful technical publications available on MicroSave's website that explains the entire process with examples. I encourage the listeners to take optimum use of these freely available resources.